Welcome to the Stop Overdrinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving working moms come to learn how to stop overdrinking, reduce overwhelm and anxiety, and show up like the players they were meant to be. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik, and let's dig in. This is episode 26, What Happens When You Stop Overdrinking? Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys? Welcome to the last week of June. Can you guys believe it? Next week we are celebrating July 4th. I love summer. I've had an amazing summer so far. We have not wasted any time enjoying sunshine and the kids being out of school. We were in Indiana and then came home, worked, and went to the beach with my friend Josh, and I've already got a nice tan going on. It's all been great, but now I'm buckling down for the summer with work, and the kids are in full-time summer camps, and I'm loving it. It's been great, and I know it's going to fly by. I can't believe next week is July 4th. But today I want to talk to you guys about what happens if you stop overdrinking on your own without addressing your thoughts and feelings. So many of us think all of our own problems would be solved if we stopped overdrinking. So if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably somebody that overdrinks and you like to feel inspired and you think that if you could just stop overdrinking, right, like all of your problems could be solved. If we could just stop, we'd have more energy. We like spending time with our kids more. We would not eat all the things. We would show up at work brighter, more focused. We're willing to do extra things. We'd improve our relationships, right? That's what we want if we look ahead and we visualize our lives and we're not over drinking. Well, my friends, I'm here to tell you, if you simply stop over drinking, like literally stop over drinking, and by some grace of God, you're able to stop overindulging on your own, you are able to have only one or two, that you're still going to be frustrated. You're still going to feel overwhelmed. You're still going to have anxiety, and you're going to feel deprived and like something is missing. And I want you to just hang with me here because this is really important for you to understand. If the action you take is not pouring that third or fourth glass of wine, you might wake up feeling better and less foggy. You might not be so puffy. You might have more energy in the morning to work out. You might not snack when you have that wine buzz going on, right? But what you will still have is all of your negative emotions if you haven't addressed them. If you're anxious, you'll still be anxious. If you're overwhelmed, you're still going to be overwhelmed. Nervous, sad, bored, yep, they're all going to still be there waiting to be dealt and felt. So you'll still have the same thoughts about why it's a good idea to drink after work on a Tuesday. You will still get frustrated with your kids because they aren't doing what you want, and you will still blame your employer for your anxiety. The only thing that is different is that you aren't actually drinking alcohol. And when you realize this, you're likely going to quit, meaning you won't permanently stop over drinking. You'll go right back to your old habits because you might as well enjoy yourself or get some pleasure from your life because right now nothing magical has happened except you aren't waking up hungover, right? And by the way, that benefit isn't enough to keep you going. Otherwise, you would have all stopped over drinking on your own. And I'm guessing, right? I could be wrong here. But there's so many of you that overdrink. So many of us have a problem with overdrinking. And we've tried using willpower. We try just stopping, right? We just say, I'm not going to drink during the week. But you quickly find yourself right back to where you are. What happens when you stop overdrinking is that you are left with your thoughts and your emotions that haven't been managed or dealt with because you have been buffering them away with alcohol. And some of us, it's both alcohol and food. And the reason you were drinking too much in the first place isn't because there is something wrong with you or you fell into a habit. The reason you were over drinking is because you were trying to mask your feelings, whether you realize it or not. So when you suddenly just stop and say, that's it, I'm not drinking tonight or this week or for 30 days, you still have all of those feelings waiting to be felt and thoughts that cause the feelings, right? You don't have the tools of self-coaching yourself or understanding which thoughts are causing you to feel anxious or overwhelmed, and you certainly aren't good at feeling your feelings and allowing them and processing them. What you are good at is pushing them down and avoiding them and trying to mask them with alcohol or food or Netflix or shopping or vacations. So all of your good intentions to stop over drinking keep failing, and you really start to think there's something wrong with you. But I'm here to tell you that there is not. I don't want you beating yourself up over this either. This is how over 90% of the human population operates. It's automatic. It's allowing your emotions to dictate your actions. And as humans, if we experience a negative emotion, we think something has gone horribly wrong and it needs to be fixed. But that's not the case in today's society. Yes, 3,000 years ago, it was probably an indicator of something bad is about to happen, right? If you have a negative emotion. So us taking action from that negative emotional state probably saved our species from becoming extinct. But that's not the case anymore. And we still have that primitive part of our brain in our heads that needs to be managed. And it's not the case anymore. You don't need to be saved from harm's way, right? When you have a negative emotion, especially not if you're listening to a podcast on iTunes. Not if you have access to fresh water, food, shelter, a job, friendships, right? We have everything we need for survival. So now we have to learn how to manage our minds and emotions to live intentionally instead of automatically or on autopilot, because being told to take action from that primitive part of our brains that only wants to survive. It literally thinks that we're going to die when we have a negative emotion. So if you want to stop over drinking permanently, you need to do so much more than just stop the act of over drinking. You must manage your mind and learn how to process your emotions without taking action from them unintentionally. That is why coaching to stop over drinking is so successful. During our private sessions together, you tell me what you are thinking and feeling, and I can show you how to have different thoughts that will lead you to different feelings, that will create better actions, will ultimately create better results when you want to stop the over drinking or overeating. And we get to work on the underlying issues of anxiety and overwhelm and boredom. And I can show you how you are avoiding these emotions and pushing them back. And I'll teach you how to process them so that you don't need to escape from them or avoid them. And then I will show you your own thinking that has caused the anxiety and overwhelm. And our thoughts create our feelings. And when we take action, when we don't want to feel or when we feel, then our actions from that place creates the results in our lives. So now you can see that if you just change the action part of it, that part, that literally that stop drinking, that third, that fourth, that fifth glass of wine, you are still left with the same thoughts and feelings. And if you want permanent changes and to learn why you have been doing what you are doing and start working on your thoughts and go all in on yourself and what you are thinking, that is when you will see things start to click and your world will open up and you won't be needing the wine to buffer your anxiety or your overwhelm with everything you have going on. You will start to feel happier and more confident, and you'll have the energy and the mental stamina to take on more things, and your relationships will improve. And then you will realize you don't need the alcohol because you're feeling better and you're happier and you're more productive, and your life isn't revolving around what time you can have that glass of wine. My coach made this amazing reference recently that I love. Someone was talking about wanting to eat chocolate cake and planning to eat chocolate cake, and she couldn't imagine her life without chocolate cake. My coach said, do you want to have a chocolate cake life or an interesting life where you are evolving and challenging yourself and growing as an individual and not carrying excess weight? The latter is way more interesting, right? If you want a wine life, that is totally fine. You get to decide to do whatever you want to do. That is the beauty of being a human and having free will and living in this country. You don't have to cut back. You don't have to manage your thoughts or learn how to feel your feelings. But you will have a wine life, right? One of constant struggle and feeling stuck and starts and stops. And you will give up and say screw it and just drink habitually for a long time. And then you'll start to feel sick of that. And you'll want to change and you'll cut back. And that'll last for a while. And then you'll be right back to your old antics. That's a wine life. The upside of that is that you get to feel buzzed and enjoy the taste of alcohol and feel like you're having fun in that moment. But the wine life comes at a cost. It's costing you your dreams, your energy, how you want to be as a mom, as an employee, as a partner. What is overdrinking costing you? That is what you are paying to have a wine life. Okay? What I am offering you is a full life of excitement and hope and a different future, of you creating the exact full, vibrant, healthy life you know you want. But my friends, that takes some work. That life is worth the work and the energy and the time and the money that you invest into it. It comes with a cost too. That cost of that life is change, being willing to give up that wine life or dramatically cutting back on it. It's the cost of feeling uncomfortable and experiencing growing pains. But that cost actually gets you to the life you want to live. The cost of the wine life keeps you stuck. The cost of the fulfilling, exciting, beautiful life moves you forward. Do you see the difference? That life is a life we are meant to live as a human species. We are meant to evolve and to grow, and to have our amazing prefrontal cortex part of our brain that makes us different than any other species on the planet. The prefrontal cortex has evolved from that primitive brain. Now we can think about our thoughts. We can plan for the future. We can create goals and live intentionally, but most of us don't know how to use it. We are in default mode, letting our primitive brain drive us. And that's where a life coach can coach you and show you the power of our brain and why it's so important to analyze our thoughts and process our feelings. They are everything. They drive every single thing that we do. And if you stop over drinking without doing that part, without analyzing your thoughts and being willing to feel your emotions, you'll be right back to where you are right now. And that's what I can help you with. That's how I coach my clients who have amazing success in as little as 8 weeks, is where it can change your relationship with alcohol forever. And if you're ready to say goodbye to a wine life, I'm inviting you to schedule your free consultation with me via the link in the show notes. I said goodbye to the wine life, and it was the best decision I ever made. I'll talk to you all next week. Bye for now.